look like James Charles. I forgot that my R2 was here. So I put perfume on for this video, you know, because you can smell me. Why did you scream like that? We're going to be reading from my novel again. And of course, a few days ago, I sent all of the copies that I had out to my teachers. So we get the one that has the not for resale band on it. This book is, of course, dedicated to my brother Caleb. Fun fact, Caleb's actually my cousin, but I tell everyone he's my brother because he basically is. The link to buy the full version of Again will, of course, be in the description. So 10% of the profits from this book are going to two different charities, the Elijah McClain Fundraiser and the March for Our Lives Foundation. I've already made the first donation. I plan to do the donations every $100, so every time I got $100 from this book, I would give $5 to Elijah and $5 to MFOL. But Amazon makes it hard. They give you all the profits from all of your books and they don't tell you how many you've sold, how much money you've made from each individual book. But regardless, I'll just give $5 every $100 I make off Amazon. Like, I make shit off Amazon if we're being honest. Another example of my astounding intelligence, I forgot that the prologue counts as a chapter. So this is reading 6 chapters of Again. You know, normally I read 5 chapters. Y'all get 6. And you're welcome for me being dumb. Oh, should I sign it? It's a very serious book, and it covers serious topics. But when I say that I'm going to put on my serious voice, it just makes me want to act out more. Yesterday, I heard a loud bang at school. A few other kids and I crawled under our desks. My teacher had dropped a textbook. We thought it was a shooter. That was a real note that I wrote. That's a real thing that happened to me. And that served as the primary inspiration for this book other than my brother. My brother once told me a story about how one of his friends made a school shooting joke and then reached into his backpack like he was joking, but he was pretending like he was about to pull out a gun. And so Caleb tackled him to the ground. And that always stayed with me. Prologue. Alright, I'll speak with Miss Jenny and we'll give you an answer by the end of the week, she says, and I nod, smiling politely. She isn't completely hell-bent against the idea, so I'm taking that as a good sign. It helps that I'm a good student at a small school, so they know me and trust me. I stand from my chair on the other side of Fiona's desk and head back into the hallway. I chose to go during Mrs. Stanford's class because she likes me a lot, and also because she's the only teacher I've talked to about the new job. So, Miss Stanford asks as I return to her classroom, what'd she say? Miss Jenny was busy, so I talked to Fiona, I explain. Miss Jenny is the school's principal, and Fiona is her receptionist, who basically doubles as an assistant principal since the school is on a tighter budget than ever this year. She said she talked to her about it. Well, let me know as soon as you know, Miss Stanford says, and I nod. I think the reason she's all for it is because with half-days I'll have to stay in school with her longer. I sit down at my usual desk in the back of the classroom and open up my laptop. I'm designing a new line of clothing for my indie fashion brand, which has been keeping me afloat while I'm adjusting to life with Lori. Because the platform I use doesn't give a limit on how many products you can offer, I've been cranking out about a half-dozen lines every month, hoping that the broad variety will keep people interested. It's worked so far, but things just keep getting more and more expensive. I have pretty much zero savings, and I'm worried that if Miss Jenny says no to me leaving early every day to go work at the Mexican restaurant down the street, I might have to drop out. Thankfully, I go to Mayer Independent High, known for its flexibility and support for teenagers in difficult situations. I mean, over half the kids here are parents like me, so the administration has seen this stuff plenty of times before. Although leaving early will definitely put me further behind schedule than ever, as I already had to take a few months off after Lori was born. I do get a lot of work done quickly, which is why my teachers let me design during class sometimes, but half-days will mean there won't be any leisure time during school anymore. But I need the money. I couldn't even afford to bring school supplies for my teachers when the new year rolled around. Mayor goes through the summers, but every fall we all have to bring in reams of paper and staples and stuff just like every other school, and I've never been the kid that had to sign a waiver to get out of it before. I didn't like handing that paper to Miss Jenny as she looked at me with sadness in her brown eyes. The school needs the supplies just as much as I need the money. We only have about 300 students, and even though we all had to interview with Miss Jenny in order to be accepted, a lot of the district frowns down on us as the refuge for troublemakers. That couldn't be further from the truth. Most of us just got dealt a rough hand. The community here is tight, and we get to do a lot of fun things since we're unorthodox. Every year on Halloween, the babies from the daycare dress up and go from classroom to classroom and trick-or-treat. This year was Lori's first one, and I forced her into this T-Rex onesie that made all the kids awe and crowd around as I carried her down the hallways. My mouse wanders and clicks the little email icon at the bottom of the screen, instantly pulling up the bookmarked message I'd reread 100 times over the past day. Hi, Nia. Congratulations, we've reviewed your application and would like to offer you the waitress position here at Daiquiris. Please write back within 7 business days to let me know when you can start. Regards, Isabel Lewis, manager. Honestly, I needed a reminder that I wasn't complete garbage. I don't always think that, but people tell it to me all the time, even without speaking. Usually when I'm taking the bus or at the grocery store, people will eye me and Lori up and down, and sometimes white ladies will make that tsk sound at me. I've got a baby face, so I look younger than 18, which probably just disgusts them more. My mom's words ring in my ear like a slap in the face, and I squeeze my eyes shut. You'll never do anything with your life now. Well, I'm a damn waitress at daiquiris, so suck on that, dude. Even though I'm pretty sure Miss Jenny will say yes, I still feel weird. I guess I feel anxious about either answer, because if she says yes, my days will be crazier and more tiring than ever. And if she says no, I'll be that teenage mom that has to drop out. My life wasn't supposed to be like this. I was even supposed to go to college like my parents. That option flew out the window a long time ago, but I figured I could at least get my diploma. If I can't do that, I don't know what I'll do. There aren't any bells because they might make the babies cry, so when it's time, I pick up my books and bid Miss Stanford goodbye as I head for the daycare. My friend Harrison, my only friend really, jogs to catch up to me on the sidewalk. He's a short, skinny white boy with shaggy hair and a puffy goatee, the type to get mistaken for a homeless man at least once a week. "What'd Miss Jenny say?" he asks, and I sigh. "She was busy," I say, and he groans. "She's always busy," he sympathizes. "Oh well, at least you have until next Tuesday to give the restaurant an answer." "I already gave them my answer," I say. "Dear Isabel, thank you so much for the opportunity. I can start next week. Please send me the schedule at your earliest convenience. Sincerely, Nia." I misspelled my name, I add, and he laughs. Suddenly, he grows serious. "Wait, so if Miss Jenny says no, that's it? You're gone?" "Yeah," I say, staring down at my feet as we round the sidewalk leading to the daycare, which is a smaller, separate building from the school. "I mean, I've got to go work, no matter what. You get it." "I get it," he says, but he can't, really. His baby mama goes to our school with him, and she has nice parents that pay for almost everything. Her name's Aniha, and she and Harrison are still in love and shit, even after she gave birth to their son, Jefferson. She and I were pregnant at around the same time, too, but we don't talk like that. My eyes always spot Lori immediately when I walk into a room. It's like a sixth sense or something. She radiates a certain glow that instantly draws me to her and her to me. She perks up as soon as the door opens, squealing and bouncing up and down until I reach her and scoop her into my arms. 5 months, I can't believe it, Harrison sighs, tickling Lori's belly while his other arm cradles Jefferson. It seems like time goes so slow, but it's actually flying by. 5 months? I ask, confused. Yeah, Harrison's eyes widen. It's today, right? I feel like I've been hit by a truck. Oh, I'm so tired I didn't even know what you were talking about for a second, I say, overcompensating for the fact that I've completely forgotten that it's been 5 months to the day since my daughter was born. Harrison just laughs. I know that feeling, he says. Ready? Yeah, I say, grabbing the rest of Lori's stuff. Harrison knows my bus doesn't come until 20 minutes after school lets out, so I always walk him to Aniha's parents' car. Ooh, it's a chilly one today, bud, Harrison says, tucking Jefferson into his coat. Harrison laughs again. Harrison laughs a lot. He's trying to latch. I can't help but snort, too. Jefferson's gripping at Harrison's t-shirt and mouthing like he's going to breastfeed. I'm wearing a pullover hoodie, so I can't put Lori in my coat like Harrison's doing, but I reach into my diaper bag and pull out a second blanket, swaddling Lori tightly in her baby carrier. We walk down the sidewalk until we reach a black Honda van pulled up to the curb, where Aniha is fussing with Jefferson's car seat next to the back door. The van has 3 rows of seats, so Aniha's parents can both come to pick up every day, and they sit in the front 2 seats twisting around to look at us as we approach. Aniha is about the same height as me, 5'6", and she's a chubbier black girl with box braids. Her dark eyes light up when she sees Harrison. She doesn't even notice me as she runs and scoops Jefferson into her arms. Hi, Mr. and Mrs. O'Reilly, I say, offering a meek wave to Aniha's parents. Hi, Nia, Mr. O'Reilly says. You need a ride? No, thank you, sir, I say. They offer to drive me home at least a couple times a week, but I almost never accept. They have to go 10 minutes out of their way to drop me off, and I just feel better taking the bus. Happy 5 months, honey, Mrs. O'Reilly chirps, and I swallow. Apparently, everyone remembered except for me. Now that I think about it, Miss Stanford said something about 5 months as I walked into class today, but I was too busy putting my stuff down and then asking if I could go see Miss Jenny. Bye, Harrison, I say as he climbs into the back, and he waves before Aniha shuts the door. She doesn't exactly dislike me, I just think she's suspicious of any other girl who hangs out with her man. As if she has anything to worry about. She's been Harrison's first and only girlfriend in his whole life. He's not exactly the sleazy type. I watch them drive off, then turn and head up the curb towards the bus stop. As I walk, I get colder and colder and tug the hood of my cheap sweatshirt up around my head. Now that I'm working off my pregnancy weight, the wind blows right through me. Lori starts crying. I know she's hungry and cold. I wrap the blanket around her head and try to soothe her as I join the other kids waiting for the bus. None of them even glance in my direction, but a few of the parents with babies move to the other side of the group so they won't be disturbed by Lori's screaming. It's all routine here. My teeth are chattering by the time the bus arrives, but thankfully it's toasty warm inside, and Lori settles down as soon as we sit in our usual spot near the front. As the bus rumbles down the road, we drive by daiquiris, and I watch the neon sign pass the window. Okay, I think to myself. Chapter 1. When I said Harrison was my only friend, I guess I was lying. He's my only friend at school, for sure, and not because I'm a loser or weirdo or whatever. I just don't have time for that anymore. When I went to traditional school, I had lots of friends. One of them was this Mexican girl named Rena, short for Katrina. After I got pregnant, she saved my ass. Both our parents had kicked us out, and she took me in as her roommate. She pays 2/3 of the rent, too, because her parents still give her money, but even then she could make me split it, but she's great like that. I guess I don't really think of her as a friend, more like a sister. Hello, Rena calls as I prop the door open with my foot, my hands full with lugging my bags in Lori's carrier. By the time Rena gets up to help, I'm already inside, setting Lori down in her playpen as I stretch my back, which hurts from carrying all our stuff. We live on the second floor of the apartment complex. How'd it go today? They said they'd tell me by the end of the week, I say. They better, because you start next week, she reminds me, tossing her waist-length brown hair over her shoulder. Right. Anyway, I've finally saved up enough for a new tattoo. Will you come see? She points at her room where her laptop sits open on her desk. Yeah, let me just heat up some milk, I tell her, heading into the kitchen with Lori's bottle. I pump a lot at the beginning of the week so that I have some milk supplied on days like these when I'm tired as hell. Lori's beginning to transition into baby food, but her teeth are coming in slowly. Everyone in my family had slow teeth, so she still just drinks milk most days. Rena follows me. So, Alexander shaved her head, she begins, and I know I'm in for some gossip from the school I used to go to with her, Evanston High School. Everyone says she was just tripping on painkillers, but Kira told me her mom made her. Isn't that fucked? Like, we all know she's crazy, but she might be that crazy. I frown as I fix Lori's bottle. Why would she make her? Who knows? That whole family's batshit. On New Year's, her brother smashed a window in the middle of a party. I giggle. Luke did? Yes, I forgot to tell you. They kicked him out after that. Whose party was it? I don't know. Jackie's, maybe? You remember her? Kind of. The name sounds familiar. She's the one who brings her kittens to school sometimes. Oh, her! I never knew her name. I love her. She was always so nice. I know, right? And she throws these exclusive kickbacks that never get busted because it's only like a dozen people. So it was probably a big deal that Luke got kicked out. Ask her about it. Okay, I will. We still talk while I feed Lori, then the three of us head into Rena's room to look at her laptop. There's an intricate flower design on the screen. Where would you get it? I ask, pressing Lori to my shoulder and burping her gently. My ankle. How big do you think? I was thinking small, but I don't want it to look like a mole. Yeah, it'd look like a mole. Maybe, like, a baseball? That's perfect. Cool. I can wear socks whenever I see Vicky. Rena has developed the classic teenage girl habit of calling her parents by their first names. Let her see it. What can she do? You know what? You're right. What do you want for dinner? Chinese? The usual? Sounds good. Rena begins dialing our favorite Chinese restaurant as I head back into the living room, sitting down next to Lori's playpen. As I look at her, I have that same thought for the millionth time. I don't want you to be in daycare, I think miserably. I want to raise you. Even if I finish school, I'll still be working, and at least the daycare at Mayer is free for students. That's another reason to go slowly, but I'm not that kid. I'm smart. People forget that sometimes, even I do sometimes, but I am. I'm smart. I got a job. I did that. Lori burbles a bit, so I pick her up and burp her again, feeling her soft skin pressed against my cheek. I close my eyes and breathe in her scent, enjoying her for the moment until she then pukes all over my backside. Great, I moan, carefully pulling off my shirt as I take Lori to the bathroom. We're gonna take a bath until the food gets here. Is there puke anywhere? Nah, all of it got on me this time. Yes! I'm glad you're so excited. Rena's laughter follows me into the bathroom where I run the water and set Lori on the bath mat, taking off her clothes and tossing them into the laundry basket, then setting her diaper on the sink counter to reuse since she hasn't soiled it yet. I strip down and tie my unruly curls up, checking to see if any puke got on them. I can't help but do a double take at myself in the mirror. I never used to think twice about my reflection, but ever since I gave birth, my body looks so weird. My hips seem wider and I still have some extra weight, but it doesn't fit on me like it used to. At least my tits are huger than ever and my skin's cleared up since the pregnancy. I check to make sure the water isn't too hot before climbing in with Lori on my chest. She's still really young, so she can't move a lot and just lies there as we soak, feeling like a little puppy sleeping on my chest. I let us stay there for a few minutes before sitting up and washing us both off. She laughs as I rub her and I can't help but smile. Every parent knows that their kid's laugh is contagious. The doorbell rings with our Chinese food, so I wrap myself in a towel, drain the tub, and carry Lori to our room. It's her bedtime by then, so I moisturize her soft skin, put her in her onesie, then lie her down in her crib across the room from my bed. I wait to make sure she's asleep before going out and joining Rena at the kitchen table. "Ah, those putas forgot my white rice," Rena moans as I set the baby monitor between us. "Shouldn't have tipped him so much." "I can make you some," I offer, and she nods gratefully. I stand and put a pot on the stove. "We should order one of those fancy rice cookers from Japan," Rena remarks as I disappear into the pantry. Rena always seems to forget that I'm on a fixed budget with Lori, but I say, yeah, anyway. "There's a party this weekend. Are you in?" she asks, and I raise my eyebrows as I return to the kitchen. Maybe," I say. "I'll have to see if Lena's available." Lena is Rena's friend in college who's studying child development, so I feel like Lori is in good hands whenever she babysits. "She is, I already checked," Rena said, showing me her phone screen. Rena, 7:04 a.m. "I want to take Nia out. You free this weekend?" Lena, 12:02 p.m. "Yeah, just let me know when." "Okay, then yeah," I say, measuring out the rice. I like to go to parties to see my old friends and get away from the repetitiveness that has become my everyday life. "Ugh," Rena groaned. "I'm just trying to eat my beef and broccoli." I snag a piece of her meat with my chopsticks. "Picky, picky," I say through a mouthful. Lori starts crying in the middle of the night, and I carry her out onto the balcony so she won't wake Rena up. I'm freezing my ass off in my pajamas, but Lori's starting to calm down, so I stick her under my fuzzy shirt to feed, rubbing her back as I look out over the neighborhood. I've grown up here, but it seems different now. Everything's changed over the past year. Not so much the area, but me as a person. I guess I'm just an adult now. After Lori falls back asleep, I check on my clothes online and found that I've made some sales over the past day. The majority of my customers are my friends from my old school, but a few are from people who stumble across my Instagram and like what they see. I've got a good amount of followers now, and can only hope that the payouts continue to be steady. Even though it feels like I worry all the time, I try to remember that I'm pretty lucky. I mean, some girls at school are on welfare with their kids. I have a home, and food, and water. Things aren't as bad as they could be. Chapter 2. On Friday morning, Miss Jenny calls me into her office. I nervously slide past Fiona and into the small space, which is decorated with all sorts of artwork from the students. Miss Jenny is the unreadable type, so I can't gauge what I'm in for as I sit across from her desk. "Fiona told me a little, but I want to hear from you," she begins. "Explain it to me again." I do, putting on my best white people voice, and I think it works. "Well, I've been thinking it over, and we could make it work," Miss Jenny begins tentatively, and my heart feels like it's going to beat out of my chest. "There would be some conditions, of course." "Yes?" I ask. "What were you thinking?" "I want you to graduate on time, so that means you might have to test out of some of your classes if you're not there by May. At Mayer, you can graduate whenever you finish all your credits. Since everyone graduates at different times, they usually have all the classes come out into the hallway and clap as you walk by instead of a proper ceremony. You don't have to do that either, though, and I don't think I will. It's nice to watch other people graduate, but I just feel awkward with all those eyes on me. Also, the moms usually bring their kids along, and Lori doesn't like it when there's lots of people around." "Yes, ma'am." For some of our students, we do A and B days, with Fridays alternating between A and B. Half of your classes will be on A days, the other half on B days. Does that make sense? "Yes, ma'am." "And I'd like to see your first paycheck so we can make sure you're actually where you say you are when you leave. Just because I care about you, Nia." "Yes, ma'am." "And I think that's about it. You can start on Monday." My shoulders sag with relief, even though there's some tension electrifying up and down my spine. "Thank you, Miss Jenny. Now get back to class. It's your last full day." I nod my head eagerly and hurry out of her office, smiling the whole way. Although, as soon as I get back to my classroom, reality hits me hard. I stare miserably at the pre-calculus assignment in front of me, remembering what Miss Jenny said. Now I only have less than 5 months to learn almost 2 semesters worth of work in all my senior classes. I square my shoulders determinedly and pick up my pencil. "I got this," I whisper to myself. "Hey, can I come over today?" Harrison asked me at lunch. He likes to go over to our apartment because there aren't any parents around. I'm not sure why. If I had nice parents like Aniha's, I'd never want to leave home. Maybe a little play date for Jeffy and Lori? I'll text Rena and let her know, but I'm sure that's fine, I say, pulling out my phone as I pop another Dorito into my mouth. "Cool, I'll tell Aniha." He stands and walks over to the other side of the cafeteria, where Aniha's just come from the daycare. She likes to bring Jefferson with her after she breastfeeds. I do that with Lori, but like I said, she doesn't like all the commotion, so I usually just breastfeed and then go sit with Harrison. When he comes back, he has 2 pieces of pizza with him. I scowl. I told you to stop doing that, I grumble, shoving his arm as he sits down next to me. He buys me food sometimes because I can usually only afford to get a bag of chips. Hey, that's not a very nice thank you, he jokes. I always feel so weird when people do nice things for me. I'm hungry though, and he knows it, and he smiles triumphantly as I pick up my slice. Well, you already got it, so it's too late now, I sneer, and he holds up his hands in a sign of peace. When I look up, I catch Aniha watching us and scooch a bit farther away from Harrison. Is black people dandruff black? He asks, and I almost choke on my pizza. I'm eating here, I shriek, but I'm laughing too hard to get the words out completely. Harrison knows how to make me laugh by asking weird shit at the most random moments. Is it? He asks, genuinely curious, and I put my head in my hands. No, it's like dead skin cells, so it looks white, like white people dandruff. I'm still giggling as I explain it to him. Oh, like ashiness. Boy, I'm gonna slap you. We laugh all through lunch, and I manage to forget all my stress about the new job. Don't get me wrong, I love Harrison, but he's just not my type. Harrison's simply the kind of person who has so much love to give, he can feel comfortable with me while still being head over heels for Aniha. I'm into guys that are taller than me anyway. Hey Nia, my forensics teacher Mrs. Lewinsky says as she passes by our table with her tray. I heard you're switching to A and B days. Yeah, I got a job at the Mexican place up the street, I explain. Yeah, Miss Jenny sent out an email. Listen, don't feel any pressure to graduate on time. I mean, what are they gonna do, kick you out? I nod. Thanks, I say, but I'm gonna try anyway. She walks off, and I turn back to Harrison. That reminds me, he begins. I was wondering if you wanted us to drop off Lori every day after school. That way you don't have to walk all the way here and then drag her back to the restaurant. My eyes widen. Are you sure? Yeah, of course. It's legit 3 minutes of driving up the road, and it's on our way, too. I almost start crying. That'd be so awesome. Thank you. After school, I talk to Aniha's parents, and they seem almost overjoyed to help me out. Aniha will walk with Harrison to the daycare so that she can get Jefferson and all his stuff, and Harrison can get Lori and all her stuff. Then they'll drive Lori up to the restaurant, and I'll run out and grab her. My manager, Isabel, already told me that Lori can chill with her in her office while I work my shifts. Everything's shaping out to be just perfect. The pay isn't bad, too. It's a few dollars up from minimum wage, and I get paid every 2 weeks. Maybe I can finally get some savings going, even though I don't know a whole lot about bank accounts and interest and stuff like that. After Aniha and her parents say bye to Jefferson, Harrison and I trudge up the sidewalk to the bus stop and join the usual group. We can't sit together on the bus because we have our baby carriers on the seats beside us, but Harrison always just sits behind me and then gets off at my stop. What time are Aniha's parents coming to get you tonight? I ask, twisting my neck to look at him over the seat. Around dinner time, Harrison says, and I duck my head so he can't see my face. He usually asks to go before dinner so I don't have to feed him. I focus on putting Lori's pacifier in her mouth, smiling softly as she stares up at me with those huge blue eyes. She's mixed because her father's white, but he has brown eyes and mine are black. Somehow, though, Lori's eyes are this incredible icy blue color. I can tell she's going to be so beautiful when she grows up. She already is. A baby near the front of the bus starts screaming, and I hope it's far enough away from us, but then it starts off a chain reaction, and soon all the babies on the bus are crying, including Lori and Jefferson. They keep crying until we get off at our stop 40 minutes later, and by then my head is pounding furiously. Lori calms down soon after we disembark, but Jefferson is showing no signs of stopping, and Rena rushes up to the door as soon as we get inside the apartment. Oh, poor baby, Rena cries, picking Jefferson up out of his carrier. You want to watch some Elmo? Come with Auntie Rena. Even though Rena and Harrison aren't too close, she always hangs out with Jefferson when they come over. Rena has a younger brother, so I guess it reminds her of the days when he was a baby. Rena shuts herself and Jefferson in her room, and the crying finally fades. I push my frazzled hair out of my face and smile tiredly at Harrison. You're so lucky you have a quiet baby, he moans, flopping down onto the couch. Quiet? I demand, aghast. She wakes me up every damn night. Yeah, but at least it's not non-stop like with Jeffy. I do have a very good baby, I agree, stroking Lori's cheek with my finger. She grabs onto it with her fist and holds it, trapping me. So, you want to watch a movie? Yeah. Harrison lets me use his Netflix because I can't pay for anything like that. I detach myself from Lori and pull the homepage up on my laptop, then start scrolling. Once we get past all the baby movie recommendations and finally find something that looks good, I drape us under a blanket on the couch and we start to watch, listening to Jefferson's muffled howls from Rena's room. Halfway through the movie, Rena emerges, shutting the door behind her so Lori won't be disturbed. I'm sorry, I tried, she sighs. That boy's got some lungs. He's probably hungry. Harrison says, I guess I'll call Neha to come pick us up. I frown. Sorry it's so soon, I say. Hey, don't be sorry, he says, offering me a tired smile as he heads into Rena's room. Life of a parent, am I right? Chapter 3. Lena comes over after dinner on Saturday, and she starts reading to Lori on the couch while Rena takes me into her room to make me up for the party. I bring my own foundation and stuff, because Rena's skin is a lot lighter than mine, but Rena lends me all the rest, like lip gloss, eyeshadow, etc. Okay, so it's just a house party, so nothing extreme, Rena says, planting me in front of her full-size mirror. I'm thinking maybe some eyeliner? I nod. Whatever goes good with this outfit, I tell her. I'm wearing a purple long-sleeve sweater and black leggings, and I'm hoping I'll be warm enough if the party's outside. All right, the vision is starting to take shape, Rena says, squinting at me. Close your eyes. Half an hour later, she's carefully crafted a full face of makeup on me. I smile as I look at myself in the mirror, feeling pretty for the first time in a while. Can you do this for me on Monday? I ask her. I bet I'll get hella tips looking this glam. Sure, but you'll have to wake up early, Rena says. Okay. All right, we'll head out in about an hour. I'll do my makeup now. I stand from her desk chair and head out into the living room where Lena's face lights up when she sees me. You look gorge, Nia, she exclaims. Doesn't she look stunning, Lori? Doesn't she? Lori laughs and babbles, and I grin, kneeling down beside her playpen. Thanks again for sitting, I tell Lena. She usually only asks for $10 every time she sits because she says the real-world experience pays for itself. I think Rena has something to do with it, though. I play with Lori until Rena's ready to go, and we head out at 9 o'clock. Rena has her own car, a 3-year-old Acura, and it has seat warmers and everything. I climb into the comfy passenger side as Rena buckles her seatbelt. Okay, I promise I'll only drink 1 beer, Rena says, backing out of our apartment complex's parking lot. You better, or else I'm calling an Uber and charging it to your card, I joke, and she laughs. Be nice. We drive for about 15 minutes until we reach a street with cars lined all along the curb. Luckily, there's a spot not too far from the house, so we park and walk towards the driveway. Nia! I whirl around as someone shrieks my name, and suddenly I'm swarmed by a bunch of girls from Evanston. I can't remember some of their names, but the girl who yelled is Kira, who was in my chemistry class sophomore year. We had so much fun together, we distracted each other to the point that we never got any work done, and the people around us had to let us copy their assignments. I wrap her into a hug, and then I do a double take. Are you wearing my clothes? I ask, staring down at her hoodie. Suddenly, I realize they're all wearing my clothes, the ones I design on my website. Duh, Kira says. I can smell minty vape juice on her breath. They're so cute. I'm trying to get everyone at school to buy them. Really? I ask, lightheaded with happiness. Yeah, Kira and 2 other girls next to her say at the same time. How's Lori? Someone asks. I think her name is Brittany. Let's go inside. I'm freezing my ass off, Rena pipes up, and we all laugh as we head for the doors. I really can't believe what's happening. This feels like a movie or something. Even if I had friends at my old school, I was never the girl that everyone crowded around. I'd never even seen anyone wearing my clothes in real life before, except for Rena. Pictures, pictures, Brittany cries after I tell them that Lori just turned 5 months old. I pull out my phone and scroll, and all the girls awe at Lori's smiling face on the screen. The commotion attracts more partygoers, and soon I'm surrounded by people from my old school, giving out hugs and passing around Lori's photos. There are also some kids from other schools who don't know me, and a few girls eye me up and down condescendingly as I talk about my pregnancy, but thankfully they leave without starting anything. Kira's been letting me hit her vape, and I finally begin to relax. I only do stuff like drink and smoke at parties because I'm not trying to get addicted or anything, but also because I can't afford it, and even if I could, I'd feel so bad about taking money away from my daughter to spend on stupid shit. Regardless, going to parties calms me down, and this one is shaping out to be pretty awesome. Rena stands proudly at my side as my best friend, which is new for me. Usually I'm the one sticking by her as she's the center of attention, but this is the first time I've seen a lot of these kids since I left last year, and everyone seems excited about it. A guy from the Evanston football team is telling me about their season last fall when my eyes suddenly go to the door where 3 girls from my old school have just walked in. The last time I saw them, we hated each other's guts. I'm hoping that they've moved on, but they're the type to hang on to shit like that, so I try and hide behind my friends as the trio's eyes move through the crowd, assessing who's there and who's not. Bitch alert, Rena mumbles in my ear. She's obviously spotted them, too. Just ignore it, I tell her, but it's too late. Mackie Wild and her posse have already spied us and are working their way towards where we stand, Mackie's eyes locked on me. My jaw clenches. I don't have time for their drama. Oh my god, hey Nia, Mackie says in that fake as fuck, sappy, sweet voice of hers. Hi, I say curtly. What are you doing here? Mackie asks. She has this unnerving habit of staring right at people's eyes and never looking away. Probably a power move or something. I can feel the crowd around me becoming a little tense. Some people here know about what went down between me and Mackie. I shrug. Just chilling, I say, hoping she'll leave me alone, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. When'd you have your baby? Was it a boy or a girl? August. A girl. Wow, that's crazy, huh? Hey, let's go to the backyard, Kira says, tugging on my sleeve. I leap at the opportunity and begin to follow her towards the back door. Bye, Mackie, I say without looking at her, and she doesn't say anything as the rest of the people follow us outside. I can't help but worry with her being here, but I try to focus on the fact that even more people from my old school are in the backyard, and they come right up to me as I head for the bonfire in the brick-lined pit. Hey, it's the pregnant girl, Logan Burke says bluntly and offers me a hit of his joint. I roll my eyes and take it, breathing in deeply. Then I pass it to Rena and hold my hands out towards the fire, trying to keep them warm. You want a drink? Rena asks, stepping towards the cooler a few dozen feet away. Please, I say, but as soon as she leaves, I feel a little exposed. Kira's talking to her friends behind me, and there's still a little crowd of people I know around me, but nobody's actually talking to me, and I turn around, searching for someone to start a conversation with. My back is turned when I suddenly feel cold, icy liquid spray all over the back of my legs. I leap away, but it's too late. Standing behind me is Mackie and her two goons, each holding empty solo cups. Even though I'm wearing black leggings, the drink they've thrown on me are mixed with red, sticky fruit punch and completely ruin my white shoes. Dark stains stand out blatantly against my purple sweater as droplets drip down onto the lawn. Everyone goes silent, staring at us. Whoops, Mackie's shrill voice yells, cutting through the silence like a blade. Looks like her water broke. Tears suddenly spring to my eyes, and I turn around and push through the crowd as people boo and yell at Mackie. But she doesn't care. She's already won. I run around the side of the house at the same time as some of the football guys drag Mackie and her friends through the house by their jackets, kicking them out. Assholes! Kira screams at them, and I realize she's followed me out of the party. Mackie only smiles, narrowing her evil eyes into slits as she and her two friends waltz towards their car. I'm freezing. The cold drinks mixed with the chill of the night have my teeth chattering, and I wrap my arms around myself as I try to blink back the tears. Here, Nia, Kia says, ripping off her hoodie, the hoodie I designed, and pulling it over me. No, I say, trying to take it off. It'll get sticky. I don't give a fuck. Keep it. I'll buy another one. She wraps her arms around my shoulders as Rena charges out from the backyard. Where are they? I'll kill them, she shrieks, hurling an empty liquor bottle at where Mackie's car is driving down the road. It falls short and shatters on a neighbor's driveway. That was so middle school, Kira agrees, keeping me wrapped tightly in her embrace. You should go inside, I say miserably. You're gonna get cold. I've got her, Rena says, taking my other arm. Kira purses her lips and offers me a final glance of sympathy, but I don't look at her. I can't stand it when people pity me, let alone my own friends. I'll see you, Nia, she says, then disappears inside. Let's get the fuck out of here, Rena says, leading me back towards her car. As she climbs into the driver's seat, I try and wring my clothes out in the street. What are you doing? Get in. I don't want to get stuff on your seats, I say, stuttering because of the cold. Oh, get your ass in. I climb into the passenger seat, feeling the cold soak in more and more. I hug my arms between my legs and focus on my feet as the car slowly begins to warm up. We drive home in silence, Rena fuming and me busy feeling sorry for myself. The tears keep threatening to spill over, but I refuse to give Mackie the satisfaction. Damn it. Chapter 4. I start work on Monday, which is a welcome distraction from dwelling on the party. I caught a cold from Mackie's stupid stunt, but I stuff myself with medicine so that I'm still able to go to school. I focus on my studying and get through my classes, and then I eat lunch with Harrison before I head for the restaurant. Anxiety begins to settle in as I walk up the road, keeping my eyes fixed on that neon daiquiris sign. When I finally reach the restaurant, I look for the side door Isabel told me to use and find another waiter outside on his smoke break. Hey, I say to him, I'm new. I start today. Where's Isabel? Inside, he says vaguely, and I open the door and walk inside. Thankfully, it's warm and it smells really good. I'm standing in a small room with the staff's purses and bags, so I hang my backpack on one of the hooks and step out into a hallway. I walk until I find Isabel's office and knock. Isabel is a blonde woman sitting behind a large desk stacked high with paperwork. She looks up as I walk in and offers me a wide smile. Hi, Nia, she says, standing and extending her arm over the desk. It's nice to meet you, Mrs. Lewis, I say, shaking her hand. Please, call me Isabel, she says. I'm so excited that you're here. Come sit. I plant myself in a comfy chair across from her desk, and she hands me a timesheet. She begins to explain how clocking in works, as well as some other employee stuff I need to know, and then she takes me outside to introduce me to the person I'll be shadowing for the next few days, since I've never worked as a waitress before. Hunter, this is Nia, Isabel says, pointing to a pale brunette boy who looks to be about my age or maybe a little older. He smiles nervously, wipes his hand on a nearby towel, then walks over to where we're standing. Will you take her to get her uniform and notepad? Sure thing, he says, and Isabel pats my shoulder as she starts back for her office. Let me know if you have any questions, Nia, she says, and I nod. I'm glad she's so nice. I was a little worried she might turn out to be one of those mean, controlling managers. Hi, I say to Hunter. Hi, he says. This way. He leads me down a new hallway and we pass the kitchen, which is bustling with several cooks at different stations. He keeps saying corner and behind as we zigzag past people, and I take mental notes. We pass a few pantries until we reach a storage room, where Hunter pushes in the door and pulls on a string from the ceiling to turn on the light. What size are you? I tell him, and he reaches up and grabs a folded uniform out of one of the boxes on the shelves. Then he steps out so that I can change, and I pull the all-black blouse and pants on, realizing that it's too small. I try the next size up, and it fits this time. Hunter gives me my notepad and tells me to copy everything he does, including taking orders, so that I can practice. His assigned table numbers are 2, 4, and 8, and he gives me a copy of the chart to memorize. Table 4, a hostess says to us, and my heart beats excitedly in my chest. Hunter glances at me, then leads me out into the restaurant, and I look around, my eyes wide. It's packed at 1 p.m. on a Monday. I've eaten here before, but it seems a lot scarier now that it's my job. The table we're walking towards has a family of 4 seated. Welcome to Daiquiris, Hunter says, pulling out his notepad. My name is Hunter, and this is Nia. Can we start you off with some drinks? My first day at work is going relatively smoothly, even with Hunter's awkwardness. I only made one mistake, walking on the left side of the hallway and nearly colliding with another waiter that was carrying a tray full of food. Thankfully, Hunter pulled me back at the last second, and I learned my lesson. He's even been splitting his tips with me. Halfway through my shift, Harrison texts to say that he's outside, and I hurry out to go take Lori from the car. Thank you again, I tell Aniha's parents earnestly, and Mrs. O'Reilly waves her hand dismissively. Not a problem at all, she says. Lori's an absolute angel. I grin as I accept the carrier and bag from Harrison. See you tomorrow, he asks. Definitely, I tell him, and then Aniha shuts the door and they drive away, leaving me to carry Lori and her stuff into Isabel's office. Oh, precious, Isabel squeals as I walk inside. She stands and walks around to help me set the carrier on a chair next to her, behind her desk. She may need to play some, but other than that, she should be fine, I say nervously, staring at Lori as if saying, please be good. If she starts crying, you can usually calm her down by giving her this stuffed pig or her pacifier, and if that doesn't work, try putting her down on the floor for a little while. If she still won't stop crying, come get me. I wrote stuff down on this paper here. Got it, Isabel says, accepting the sheet of Lori tips from my hand. She is so beautiful. Thank you again, Isabel, I say, looking in her eyes to convey that I really mean it. I really, really appreciate it. I must admit that I have a hidden motive, she says, smiling softly. My husband and I, we're trying, you know. This should be good practice. Oh, I say, surprised. That's cool. Sometimes I forget that people plan out pregnancies. She nods, then waves me towards the door. Go on now, she says, and I glance at Lori one last time. We'll be fine. I step out and exhale loudly, feeling that same pang of heartbreak that I always get when I have to leave Lori with someone else. This is the age when she's supposed to be clingy, but she's learned that she always gets tossed around to other people, and now she barely even pays attention to me at home. It weighs heavy on my heart. Hey, Hunter says, and I look over at where he's standing a good distance away. Was that your baby? Yeah, I say. My daughter. Her name's Lori. That's a pretty name, he says, his shoulders hiking up to his ears. So, what's next? I ask him. He checks his watch. Dinner rush starts in about an hour, he says, and my eyebrows shoot up. It feels like the lunch rush just ended. There's nobody at our tables right now, so you want to go check out the kitchen? Yeah, totally, I say, and he turns around so I can follow him. We round a corner into the expansive kitchen, which has tons of cooking devices I can't even begin to understand. There are 5 chefs with hats on, and they each handle different parts of the kitchen, except for the head chef, who's wandering around critiquing and barking orders. That's Tony, Hunter says, pointing to the black-haired chef closest to us. He'll give you free food on your breaks. Dope, I say. The head chef is Manny. You don't want to mess with him. He treats waiters like dirt. He points at the only female chef in the room. That's Rosa. She's a hard ass, but she's the best cook by far. She handles the meats and sauces. I know I won't remember any of their names for a while, but I still appreciate the effort Hunter's making. Before he can get to the other 2, a hostess comes to tell us that we've got a table, and we head back into the main restaurant. Chapter 5. By Thursday, I'm beginning to settle into my new routine. I've started going to bed at a grandma hour because I'm so exhausted, but I've been able to handle the adjustment so far. I'm getting work done in my classes, and I'll be able to stop shadowing Hunter by the end of the week. I still don't know much about him, except that he goes to the local college and is studying journalism. Still, it feels nice to have at least one ally at work. I'm eating lunch with Harrison like usual, and as I look down, I realize that I'm wearing Kira's hoodie. It's pink with one of my swirly designs on the back and front pocket. I decide to finally tell Harrison about what happened at the party. I gave myself a few days to sit with the embarrassment of it all, and now I feel comfortable enough to talk about it. So, Rena took me to a party last weekend, I tell him, and his eyebrows raised with curiosity, and Mackie Wild was there. Harrison went to my old school with me, Mackie, and Rena, so he knows about everything that happened last year and hates her just as much as I do. That's not good, he says, eyeing me to try and guess what I'm about to say. Mackie and her two friends threw drinks on me, I sigh. Then she yelled, "Her water broke." Harrison slowly puts down his fork, and I can tell he's furious. He's the type to go quiet whenever he's upset, and right now, he's dead silent. I was having such a good time, too, but I guess life just enjoys kicking my ass. I smile tiredly, but he's still staring down at his half-eaten food, his face unreadable. I tug at the neck of my hoodie. Kira gave me this to cover up, though. I want to give it back to her the next time I see her, but it's nice to wear. Quality. Whoever designed it must be smart and beautiful. Mackie Wild is a degenerate, Harrison interrupts, and my mouth drops open, impressed. She really pulled that shit after she was the one who... My heart lurches. I hope he won't say it. Actually, I think I know where she lives, he says, thankfully skipping over the second half of that sentence. I'm gonna TP her house tonight. Don't do that, I say, laughing. Why not? I'll be stealthy. I'll dress Jeffy up in a black bodysuit. We'll be like a super spy team. I chuckle, finishing the last chip in my bag. Well, I better head off to the restaurant, I say, starting to throw my trash away. Don't work too hard, Harrison calls after me. Seriously, take care of Nia. I wave and pick up my backpack from where I dumped it by the wall, then head for the front doors. About halfway through my shift, but before the O'Reillys drop Lori off, a police car comes careening down the road, sirens blazing. I don't pay attention to it, but then another zips by. Then another. And another. My eyebrows draw together because they're headed in the direction of the school. Our customers are beginning to get curious too, and ones by the window are pointing as more and more emergency personnel arrive. Suddenly, a SWAT van pulls up to the curb by the restaurant on the wrong side of the street. I'm standing with Hunter, helping him set down a couple dishes, and I freeze, watching men in black body armor charge towards the doors. The hostess at the front begins to back away as the men thunder inside, handling guns bigger than any I've ever seen before. Everyone out, now! A SWAT officer screams, and chaos ensues. People begin trampling over each other in their hurry to get outside. I look around frantically, but Hunter got swept up in the crowd. I'm alone. What's going on? I scream, grabbing onto a SWAT officer's arm. He just throws me off and screams for me to get out, so I do, panic rising up the back of my throat. I try not to trip as the crowd surges onto the sidewalk, people crying and screaming all around me. When I get outside, I stop again. It's something I've never seen before. There are police and military vehicles packed into the street. Fire engines use the wrong lane as they careen down the road, all headed right for the school. We've had gas leaks at Mayer before, so I break down in tears, stumbling towards the sidewalk as I assume the worst. The SWAT officers are barricading some of the buildings in the neighborhood inside and evacuating others, loading people in the street onto buses to take them away. Take me away. No, please, my daughter, I scream, struggling against an officer blocking my way. He grabs my arm roughly and shoves me towards a bus, and I look around frantically, my senses heightened by my fear. I spot a gap in the line of SWAT policemen right by the bus. As fast as I can, I slip through the hole and sprint down the road. Thankfully, I'm not noticed in the chaos. I run as fast as I can towards the school, one thing on my mind and one alone. Lori. As I get closer to the school, the sounds of dozens of sirens begin to blend together into a terrible, shrieking roar. I have to duck behind cars in order to avoid being seen by the policemen crowded into the street. I'm crouched behind a military convoy that looks like something out of a movie when I hear it. Gunshots. I know what they sound like. Rena and I live in a rough neighborhood where people get shot all the time or target practice in their backyards. And Texas is an open carry state, so it's usually more likely to hear gunshots than fireworks. My knees buckle, but determination seizes me, and I instantly steel my nerves. I'm not scared. I'm not scared, I keep telling myself until someone grabs my shoulder. Go back! The police officer screams in my face, but I shove him away from me and take off running again. He follows and quickly catches up, then tackles me to the sidewalk as another round of gunshots ring through the air. The closer I get to the source, the louder they are, even louder than the sirens. Each time one goes off, I flinch. My knees are scraped and my chest hurts from landing on the unforgiving concrete. I'm pinned by the huge officer and I wriggle and try to escape, but he holds me down. Calm down, he yells in my ear. I have to get my baby, I scream at him. Let me go, let me go. He still refuses to let me up, and I punch at his shoulder, screaming curses at him. My entire body is on fire from the need to get to my child, and I'm genuinely worried I may have to hurt this guy in order to get to the school. The gunshots have stopped, and the policeman yells for help. A nearby woman dressed in a soldier's uniform runs over and hauls me to my feet, pinning me against the nearest car. I begin to sob as helplessness takes over me. Please, I blubber. I need to find my daughter. Please, please. We'll help you find your daughter, ma'am, but you need to calm down, the woman says sternly, talking loudly to be heard over the sirens. We need to put you somewhere safe right now. Safe? I echo, my eyes widening as she clasps a pair of handcuffs around my wrists. This isn't safe. This isn't safe. What's happening? Hey, what's your name? The officer from earlier asks, but I barely register what he's saying. I need to find my daughter. Please, help me find my daughter. What's your name? The officer asks again, and I press my face against the cold car window, tears streaming down my face. Nia, I sputter. Please help me find my daughter. Please, please. Is your daughter at the school? The soldier asks warily, and I nod my head furiously. Yes, she's in the daycare. Her name's Lori. Please just let me go to her. Please, I'll do anything. I realize they both have gone quiet, and I twist my neck around to see them looking at each other. All right, Nia, you can sit in my car until we give you the all clear, the officer finally says, and my hopeful smile immediately falls. No, I protest. I have to find her. I have to find her right now. We'll find her. Come with us, the soldier says, dragging me by my arm roughly. The officer's car is parked further up the road towards Daiquiris, and the soldier shoves me in the back seat. When the policeman locks me inside, I bang on the window with my head since my hands are cuffed, but they ignore me, talking seriously to each other by the car. I scramble to the other window and try to see something, anything, but my view of the other side of the street is blocked by fire engines and military convoys. Suddenly, an ambulance careens by, going so fast that I barely even register it's there before it's halfway up the road. I squish my face up to the window to try and see it, but it isn't long before there's another ambulance, and another, and another. I scream and kick at the wall separating the front seats from the back, then dissolve into tears, my entire body racked with sobs. All I can think about is Lori. My mind is consumed with the need to get to her. I cry for another 10 minutes, then force myself to calm down. I've always been a rational person, able to keep a level head when I need to, but being a parent has changed me. Without my daughter, I feel like my heart has been ripped out of my chest. It's an animalistic instinct within me to find her, hold her, protect her. She's only 5 months old. 5 months. I realize the soldier's gone, and it's only the officer now. I knock my head on the window, trying to get his attention. He glances at me, then looks away guiltily. Please, I call to him, but he ignores me, and I sit back in a huff. It's only then that I begin to realize what's actually happening. There's been a shooting at the school. No, my mind can't even comprehend it. I refuse to believe that it's real until I know for sure. Maybe there was a shooting at one of the houses around the school. Maybe someone's gun went haywire. Maybe. I'm so lost in my what-if thoughts that I don't even notice the soldier until she knocks on the window. I look up, and she has Lori in her arms. Thank you, I say for the millionth time, cradling Lori to my chest. Now the door to the car is open, I'm not handcuffed anymore, and the soldier and the officer are standing protectively over Lori and me, just in case I try to run again. Lori's screaming her head off, more upset than she's been in a long time. I barely even hear her. All I can focus on is the feeling of her in my arms, right where she needs to be. I kiss Lori and talk soothingly to her for a few minutes, then turn to the pair in front of me. What happened? I breathe. We can't say right now, the soldier says dismissively. Is this your only child? Yes. I kiss Lori again. Thank you. I can't tell you how relieved I am. The soldier's radio blares. I have to go. Keep an eye on them, she tells the officer sternly, then jogs off. My heart's still pounding furiously, and I suck in deep breath after deep breath. Lori's still crying, and I glance at the officer nervously. Can you turn around for a second? I ask, and he gives me a look. No, he says half-jokingly, and I roll my eyes. I'm about to whip my titty out, so I'd appreciate some privacy, I tell him, and he immediately turns to the side, staring pointedly down the road. Smirking, I undo the buttons of my work uniform, then let Lori begin to suckle. She finally falls quiet, and I sit back against the seat of the police car, closing my eyes. The sirens have begun to die down, and now only a few remain, and I can hear people talking loudly all around me. Police officers are standing on the porch of every house in the block, barring people inside, and I guess if they're evacuating Daiquiris, they've probably evacuated all the other businesses, too. Every time I think about what could have possibly happened, panic shoots up my spine like an icy fire, so I try to focus on the sound and feel of Lori in my arms. How old is she? The officer asks, still looking away. 5 months, I tell him, and his shoulders stiffen. She's young, he says in disbelief. I thought they weren't supposed to be in daycare until 6 months. Well, she's been in it since she was 2 months, I explain. They accept babies after 8 weeks at the school, and I needed to go back to my studying. Oh, so you're a student? Yeah, well, part-time now. I had to take an extra job, so I only go for half days. I just started this week, actually. You're lucky, he says, clearly without thinking. My head snaps around. Why? I ask pointedly, and he quickly catches himself. What's her name? He asks, ignoring my question, and I decide to humor him for now. Lori, I say. Beautiful name. Yeah, I think so too. I had to come up with it by myself, so I just went on a random name generator until I found one that I liked. Lori pulls away and starts crying again. I pull my shirt back up with one hand, the other still cradling Lori tightly. Hey, can you start the car or something? We're kind of freezing. Oh, yeah. He pauses. Is it okay to turn around? Yeah, I say, laughing a little, and he shuts the door next to me, then rounds the front of the car to slide into the front seat. The loudness outside fades, and warmth begins to fill the car. So, your name's Nia, right? He asks, twisting to look at us through the glass. I'm Officer Gutierrez. I would say nice to meet you, but I'm not so sure yet, I say, a feeble attempt at a joke, but he doesn't laugh. How old are you? Officer Gutierrez asks. 18. So you're a senior at Mayer? Yeah. He nods to himself, and suspicion prickles at the back of my neck. Did something happen at Mayer? I question. He shrugs noncommittally, and that's all the verification I need. Hey, I have a friend at the school. His name's Harrison. Could you see if he got out okay? I'll put it in as soon as I can, he says, but makes no move for his walkie-talkie. How long do we have to stay here? I ask. All of Lori's stuff is at the daycare. I don't know, he says. Silence ensues, and I turn my face back out the window, trying to see more. The big fire truck across the street is obscuring pretty much everything, but I can see soldiers moving around it. Their guns aren't drawn anymore, so I assume that's a good sign. Harrison has a son, Jefferson, I say. Maybe you could try and find him? Just sit tight, Officer Gutierrez says. I don't even have my phone. I left it at the restaurant. Which restaurant? Daiquiris. I'll go get it for you. Where did you leave it? It's in my backpack, hanging with all the others in this little room off of the main restaurant. My backpack's gray, and it has my name on the tag. Can you bring it, too? I have some spare diapers in there. Okay, yeah. He gets out of the car. I'm locking you in here, all right? No funny business. I have a baby, dude. I'm not going to try anything. He cracks a small smile, but it vanishes as quickly as it had appeared. I'll be right back. He leaves, and now it feels quieter than ever. When I look down, I discover Lori's fallen asleep, and I begin to wipe her face of crusted-on tears and snot. I'm still so grateful to have her with me. I jump as the woman soldier from earlier tries to open the car door, but it's locked. She waves at me and speaks loudly to be heard through the glass. Are you okay? She asks. Yes, I tell her. Can you find my friend's son, Jefferson? His parents are Neha and Harrison. Jefferson? I think he's with his mom, but I'll double-check. My shoulders sag with relief. Thank you. You got all the babies out? She nods. Everyone that was in the daycare is safe, that much I can tell you. That's so good to hear. If you want to wait a sec, that officer's going to get my phone, and I can show you a photo of Jefferson. All right. We wait another 10 minutes until Officer Gutierrez returns with my backpack. Thank you so much, I tell him, and dig through for my phone. Now that the policeman is back, he opens the door, and the soldier and I can speak more freely. This is Harrison and Jefferson, I tell her, showing her their picture. You can remember it because they both have son at the end of their names. I've seen him, the soldier interrupts, staring intensely at the picture. I'll go find out where they are and let you know. Thank you, I say, grinning hopefully. She turns around and leaves, and Officer Gutierrez restarts the car, warming us up again. Where do you live, Nia? Officer Gutierrez asks. I'll take you home as soon as I can. I'll give you the address, but I need Lori's bag and carrier, I tell him. It has all her stuff in it. I'll ask her when she gets back, he says, referring to the soldier. What's your address? I give it to him, and he punches it into his phone. Just then, the soldier returns. Jefferson is with his mom, she says, and turns to leave again. Wait, I call out to her. Can you try and find my daughter's carrier and bag? They're just right inside the daycare. There are a lot of carriers and bags. You'll have to wait until later to identify which is yours. Fear settles in the pit of my stomach, and I swallow. All right, I say. What's your name, by the way? Lily, she says, then walks off again. I lean towards Officer Gutierrez. Okay, I know you can't say anything, but can you at least tell me if I can stick around and wait to see if I can get Lori's stuff? I doubt it, he says. I'm just gonna take you home as soon as I can, okay? Okay, but can I come back tomorrow and get it? I don't know. Well, what? I asked, frustrated. She really needs that stuff. Officer Gutierrez looks at me and Lori, his lips pursed. Tell you what, he says. I'll take you to go get whatever she needs. I'll pay. You want to go to Walmart or Babies R Us? Oh, no, I say immediately. You don't have to do that. If I could just go see... It's really no problem. We just have to wait until we get the all clear, which could take a while. I swallow. How long, do you think? Hard to say. I hate how cryptic he's being, but I decide there's no use bickering with him, so I pull out my phone and scroll through my texts. Service is usually fine in this neighborhood, but right now it takes a long time for everything to load, probably because of all the chaos. Rena, 5 missed calls, 17 unread messages. Latest. Please, God, please text me back. Aniha, 2 missed calls, 2 unread messages, 1 voicemail. Latest. Where is Harrison? Have you seen him? Kira, 5 unread messages. Brittany, 10 unread messages. Mom, 1 unread message. Harrison, 1 missed call, 1 voicemail. It keeps going, even people I haven't spoken to in years reaching out. I don't know where to start, but my mind is fixated on that one message from my mom. We haven't spoken in months, and even then it was about insurance when Lori was sick and needed to go to the doctor. My parents and I have been on terrible terms since I told them I was pregnant, so this text sticks out. Mom, 1:15 p.m. Nia, we heard about what happened. Respond to me. We're watching the news. Is Lori safe? Where is she? Let us know as soon as possible. I move on to the next message. Brittany, 1:17 p.m. Wait, is this for real? Nia. What the fuck, Nia? Please text me back. Oh my fucking god, Nia, please. Please, oh my god. Nia, please call me right now. We're all so fucking worried about you. Nia, please. Nia, holy shit. Nia. I skip the rest of the Nia, staring wide-eyed down at my phone. Kira, 1:18 p.m. Nia, are you safe? Where are you? I skip again. Aniha, 1:30 p.m. Someone shot up the school. Aniha, 1:40 p.m. Where is Harrison? Have you seen him? I realize I've stopped breathing as I move on to Rena's text. Rena, 1:15 p.m. And they're reporting gunshots in your neighborhood. Be careful. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's at the school. Oh my god, are you okay? Oh my god, Nia, no. Oh my god, is Lori okay? Oh my god. I'm leaving school. I'll come pick you up. I can't get anywhere. Traffic is awful. What the fuck? I'm fucking crying. Traffic completely stopped. Please tell me you're okay. I sit back, still not fully comprehending what I'm seeing. I decide to go to Twitter, as that's where I usually get my news from. I see my school's name on #1 trending. I thought I'd just talk for a minute, catch you guys up on what's going on with me. You know, my YouTube's a record of my life as much as anything else. My kids are gonna watch this back. They're gonna see me throw myself down a hill wrapped in bubble wrap and put my hair into a giant spike. I have officially been home for a year in March. And I just wanted to let y'all know that after I finished this book, I had a sort of crisis of confidence because I'm never satisfied when I finish a book. And I realize that part of the reason is because I'm not putting effort into them that I'm proud of. I put effort into all of my books. I'm confident in my versatility. I'm confident in how hard I work. But I started writing a book where I want every line to have meaning. And I think it stems partially from studying these great authors in college and really dissecting their work and figuring out the mechanics of what makes a book great, bettering my levels of open interpretation, because I think even and again I tend to steer the reader's perspective. I'm sorry, my voice is tired. People have a lot of positive reinforcement for my writing, which I'm very grateful for. That really helps me a lot. Anyone who takes the time to read this, anyone who's watching this right now, I really appreciate you. But I think it's some sort of serotonin deficiency since I was on Wattpad. I was on Wattpad and I would get tens of thousands of notifications a day, sometimes per hour. Going from that to a very small audience, it does things to your brain. The fact that my audience is smaller now has made me much more appreciative of every person that supports me. The problem lies now in the fact that I'm older. I don't have time to create so much content consistently, and nor do I want to. I'm currently updating my comics regularly on Webtoon, and that's a start. I started realizing that I was confusing quantity with quality. I've written 8 books, but what good is that if I don't feel proud of them? Who decides the merit of a creative work other than a general mass acceptance? What I've been really working on is finding satisfaction within myself. Once I can reach a point of satisfaction where I have a book where I'm proud to give this book to Beyonce. Reddit has helped me a lot. I've been on the writing subreddit a lot. Whenever I get the urge to watch YouTube, I will instead read. And reading reminded me of what I'm doing as an author. Realize that I need to focus on making my work survive after I die. That is what is important to me. That's boring. Sorry. I just feel like in this age of social media and short attention spans, it's difficult to be a reader. And so I thought I would tag this on the end of a boring video, sort of. This whole thing is just me regurgitating what I've been writing in my journals. This is the end of an era where I would write books that were easy for me to write, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much if you sat through the teaser as well as this ending part. I hope you felt like your time was spent good here. That's what I always hope in my YouTube videos and my books and any content that I produce. I hope that you felt like you walked away from whatever it was and it was worth it. Be sure to leave me a comment. I love comments. I'm so grateful. I really am. And I'm sorry I've made this all about myself and not about these amazing causes. At the end of Again, I put a little blurb about each of these charities, which I will also put at the end of this video. I hope you are staying safe and healthy wherever you are. Feel free to reach out to me over social media. Subscribe if you want to become a part of our Conqueror family. The closer I get to the camera, the more it's apparent that my foundation does not match me no more. Bye. Also, in addition to this R2-D2, I've got these two little guys right here. And I love them. But when I say I'm going to put on my serious voice, it just makes me want to fuck out more. Fuck out? Picky, I say through a mouthful. There was a section break right there. What if I just burp every section break? Things aren't as bad as they could be. Ooh, that was a good one. That was for you. Fear settles in the pit of my stomach and I swallow. I'm out of water and I'm too lazy to go get more. But I sound like an old man.